twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV this Monday. Now, I'm Robert Chirabo. You need to know that is in case you've just joined. But if you've been with us all along, we start at 6:30. I and Julie, then Ruben comes in with the world of sports, giving you sports updates. Now, this morning, I'm handling something very important that almost concerns every Ugandan. Over the weekend, I was in Ibusi Island. Now, if you know Busi Island, most people, you will go by road up to Mpigi. Now you get that road going to Kasanje. Then you go to a landing site called Mabamba. Now from Mabamba, you get a boat. Then the boat will take you for some long distance to Busi Island. Now, what I found in Busi, these people had electricity. And what shook me, the electricity was regular. The things we talk about this side, the people of Busi knew none of that. And it made me wonder, how come deep there on an island, they do not have the power shortages we have? But of course also their population is not that much, I must say. And the other factors I can't explain. But joining me this morning, I have Kiza Janan, who is the head of Corporate and Stakeholders Affairs at UEDCL, Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Now, these are the people manning the electricity sector. Of course, there are others that are generating, but this is, and these other people that replaced what you all remember, known as maybe after their concession had come to an end. He's with me and he's here to explain quite a number of things. By the time we end this, I'm very sure he would have explained every problem that we are facing, and it's only time that will limit us. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, Mr. Chirabo, and to my most esteemed viewers from Busi, who sound to be, I think, one of the biggest testimony on this show. And I want to encourage you, my brother, to move around. You will get more testimonies of that kind that actually people have not seen the same interactions that sometimes form part of the debates we have here on this show. Our people in Busi, I want to greet you in a very special way. You have relieved me part of the cross that probably would have come from my informed colleague about the state of power supply. But that is really not to say that our dear apologies to all Ugandans, some of whom are struggling right now to have regular electricity in the different parts of the networks. Not all networks, but some parts of the networks are really struggling. And we are privy to some of those challenges in these communities. Although the efforts to remedy them don't seem to them to be moving at the pace they would have loved. But there is work in progress. A lot is being done behind the scenes to ensure that the power situation is restored to its status of quality, as the case is for Busi. But we also want to as well condemn some activities that people do on these power lines that exactly orchestrate the network challenges that we are facing. Like vandalism, we have witnessed people cutting power cables. I think, thank you, producer. Producer has given us a picture that was in Namirembe last week. Someone jumped into the cage and found that peaceful transformer, chopped off those two cables, removed those phases, and certainly sent the entire Namirembe Hill in a forced blackout. Now, it is very hard to discover when you are out that actually somebody has done that. So people keep on reporting, we have an outage, you have an outage. People man and patrol the lines. Remember, the other phases are in. You may not discover that actually part of the network is off until you diagonalize transformer by transformer. So some of those acts, that person probably did not even sell that cable, but he did that out of impunity to ensure that people go in a blackout.
Short for someone.
It is too short for someone to sell scrap.
Yes, because now.
Yes. So these are some of the challenges that we are grappling with, our viewers out there. Yes, we know there could be issues of the aged infrastructure. There could be issues that we are talking about of overloaded transformers that are forcing some communities at peak hours to go off. But also there are all these actions that we are talking about that we can see. And this is just one example, Mr. Chirabo and our viewers. For lack of time, but next time we shall do an array of pictures. You see, even in Kolodo, an underground cable being cut by an axle blade, and someone sends the entire hill into a blackout. So the network is challenged by a number of factors, but those that are most painful are those human-driven factors. Someone is conscious that what they are doing is wrong, but they continue to do it for reasons that we don't know. But we want to believe that a person who does that is not any different from a terrorist. But also, in the same vein, we are not a lamenting organization. I don't want the population to pick it. We are an organization that believes that if we bring information to the table, as we walk this journey of rectification, we are not working with people who don't know where we are coming from and also only see where we are heading. Because in this journey of restoring the grid, there are quite a number of challenges as we walk them.
Among before you move forward,
yes,
you're talking about vandalization. Who is vandalizing these assets?
Thank you, Mr. Chirabo. You have been so special, especially on this sector. You have followed it, you have interrogated it, and I know sometimes the questions you ask here give us chance to shed light on the perception that the public sometimes has on who vandalizes electricity infrastructure. From around April, we have arrested close to about 47 people in a year suspected to have perpetuated this vice. But of the 47, Mr. Chirabo, we have found out, I think, about 4 had technical background. Only 4. Meaning the 43 who don't even have any background in electricity are amazingly Ugandans who just wake up to harvest lines, who wake up to harvest transformer oil, who wake up to harvest stay roads, who wake up even to just cut and put electricity infrastructure down without even taking anything. Actually, in a related vein, you have asked me a question of who is climbing these poles. Like, of course, the perception is people think that someone has to be deeply technical to climb an electricity pole. Something that we distance ourselves from, because we believe that people who have been in these technical schools and have this technical expertise know the value of this asset more than any other person actually does. But I want you to take a picture. If you have moved around Kampala and the different parts of the country, you have seen posts of people contending for different positions up on power lines. The question is, how do they climb those power lines? I have seen someone who has pasted his candidate on a 220 transformer, KV, and planted the photo on it. The question I would also want to ask Mr. Chirabo, how does that person climb up? Was he also helped by our people in the electricity sector?
Well, the many I see putting them
no.
up, move with a ladder, they climb.
Absolutely.
During the day, they put their poster,
Yes.
they continue.
Yes.
Now, I assume carrying a ladder at night and climbing up there. Let's take a look at the transformer at Namirembe that we've just seen here.
Sure.
Someone jumping inside there.
Yep.
It would be very easy for someone who can masquerade as a staff. So when people are passing by, they would think maybe this is someone doing common business. We condemn this in the strongest terms.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't say that they are anti-Ugandans whose motives are unclear or who just have criminal minds. You know, I came to discover that there are Ugandans who just have criminal minds.
Yeah.
These are people you can even see, even if they are elite, they have money, and they are driving, you say they have criminal minds.
Yeah. A few months ago, UBC did a story on a case of vandalism in Mayuge district, sorry, in Namayingo. Of course, that's where the jurisdiction of the Eastern region is. We arrested some people from places in Buyende. And these were normal businessmen, amazingly. Someone runs the shop, but also does a side gig of vandalizing assets of electricity in the region. He had not only vandalized ours, but he had also vandalized transmission infrastructure. So the narrative we want to distance ourselves from is that this vice is perpetuated by us. And also it is perpetuated by people who are deeply technical. That narrative may not entirely be true.
Yes.
There are others.
We would say there are a few bad apples,
Yes.
but there are also those,
Yes.
because we can't rule out that.
Yes.
But what is important is to fight the vice.
Yes, let's condemn it. And we also want to really rally the public. Let's join hands in ensuring that we put to an end to this vice. The reliability of supply is twofold. You keep asking me about the different noise we have on our social handles. By the way, we don't take offense of it. It gives us a picture on where we have to put our efforts to. I'll give you an example. The low voltage network is not monitored on SCADA. In other words, we can't tell using our intelligence of our system, our SCADA system, that particular place X or community X is off supply until they raise an alarm. As I did mention last time when I was here, that we are a work in progress. We want to install data concentration units on all the transformers to ensure that we have visibility of them on a daily. We can check their hygiene. If they are off, we can tell they are off. But for now, it is not possible. So we rely on the feedback from the public, especially when these outages happen. Yesterday, I didn't sleep with power personally. Power went off at around 10. I thought it is a normal glitch, but I realized it was only my home, which didn't have power. So imagine if I went out to tweet, I would have said power has gone off in the entire Bukere. But in the actual sense, it was my own home. So there are also instances where we pick feedback about outages when actually outages are localized. They are at an individual's home. Maybe because the individual did not load adequate kilowatt hours, or the kilowatt hours have run out and the person has not taken note of that. So you end up making what is actually an individual problem look like as if it's a general problem. And there are many of these cases that when you aggregate them, you may think actually the world is about to collapse. I'll give you an example. I think about 2 or 3 days ago, we had a whirl awash of social media claims about power status. But when you go deep to check, it is just individuals. You find it is a home isolated. It's a home with a challenge, not a community, as probably people may want to propose.
Janan, that said, I may to a certain percentage agree with you, but to a bigger percentage, I may not agree with you. I'll give an example. There is an area I know in Machindi. It's called Mubarak. Now, this is a very active trading center.
Yeah.
And I think they spent about a week, both day both night. There are shops, people selling drinks, there are people dealing in stationery and all that, but they had issues with their transformer. That's what I was told. Now, I had never seen such happen in an urban center, which is very productive, and they spend a week without electricity. But good enough, it was rectified.
To answer you straight, Mr. Chirabo and our viewers out there are instances where we have had delays in replacing transformers. Not because we don't have the exact replacement. When you look at the account, for example, of the transformer at Mubarak in Machindi, the transformer blew or gave way on an account of overload. Now, you cannot replace a same 100 kVA which has given way on an account of overload with the same 100. Yes, you can cure the problem for hours, but you will again replace the same tomorrow because you will not have entirely dealt with the case. So for the philosophy I did mention about last time, that we are not replacing similar ratings of these transformers in these communities generally. And that is the reason why we have some slight delays in replacement, because you may not have the exact size in store at that particular moment. Or if it is there, it has already been also booked to be taken somewhere. But you don't want to repeat the same mistake of replacing a similar rating of a transformer in that same community, because you will still lose it. So this challenge is that probably you might be alluding that to is an issue of a delay because we are treating some of these cases as upgrade cases. We are not replacing same, and we want to be very categorical on this, Mr. Chirabo, that yes, we are taking the beating. We request you pardon us on that, but the principle that we are deploying after replacement is to ensure that we have long-term sustainability of this infrastructure through upgrades. We have done this and we are continuously doing it. But also in terms of transformer replacements, let me also be clear on this, Mr. Chirabo. The regulator who supervises us has set what we call the quality of service standards. Save for instances where we have taken a long time without replacing transformers, but bigger transformers are given a particular time upon which they are supposed to be replaced. When a transformer gives way, it undergoes a process of it being replaced. You have to go through a stage by stage in ensuring that actually what you are professing about that transformer is actually true. Sometimes it may not necessarily be true that the transformer has actually blown, because at the team or the area team, there are different bits each one of us does. There are people who are in charge of transformers, there are people who are in charge of the network, there are people who are in charge of responding to emergencies.
Because they were telling me the UDCL staff came, they went, they came, they went.
Yes, and also when they come and check and they see this transformer has a chance to be redeemed, they repair it on site. Now, when they repair, they again recommission it. If it fails the tests, then that's when the transformer can be retrieved and taken back for replacement. Like any other system has checks throughout its supply chain process. UEDCL has a system that if you are going to exit a transformer from the stores, you must go through processes. These processes may not be 20 minutes or 30 minutes processes. They sometimes can take a day or two, depending on the availability of that transformer. Because some of these transformers would require you to actually place an order from our suppliers. We have already signed contracts with our local suppliers, and we want to insist that these transformers we are generating, we are buying them from the local market.
Now, Janan, that was said, but there is something that lingers in the minds of Ugandans. And this is a question that I hope today you have an answer for. Many will tell you that, Robert, we see you with Janan on set trying to explain this and this. But what is it that Umeme was able to do and keep us floating amidst the storm of a rotten network, amidst the storm of this, that, and that? But we had electricity. And now UEDCL has failed to do so that we do have electricity, because they took on the same system, you know? So that is the question that I want you to help me answer, our viewer who keeps asking me that Robert, you can say that, now you know whatever happens, you've read, you've researched, you host the man, you've also become a person who can tell us anything. But please, whatever you say, unless you explain to us, Why is it that our electricity was like that of Usi? And today, things seem that no, there is something that is questionable.
Okay. To set the record straight, and this is also very important for our viewers, we have been speaking about investments. And I know even my principals at a higher level have been also speaking into the same aspect of investments. The distribution sector is a very unique sector because it deals with the end user of electricity. That absence of investments on the side of distribution may not necessarily look like absence of investments on the side of transmission and generation. Because we cushion them. They don't interface with you. When they are going through their investment process, you do not know that they are actually going through it, save for the time when we come out to communicate. Because we communicate knowing that there is going to be an interruption in power supply. You, at your premise, at your factory, at your home. But in the actual sense, what is being done in principle is they are doing investments. Now, as I did rightly mention about, I think 2 weeks ago, that we took a span of about 3 years without having investments. The question of what was UMEME doing with the same network, Mr. Chirabo, may not arise. What do I mean? I'm just going to use an example, and I pray we don't misinterpret it. If I am tested today as John and Kiza, let me use myself, because at least I will not have offended anyone. If I am tested with HIV/AIDS today, and I don't start on ARVs, 3 years down the road, my immunity will not be the same as compared to the time I was tested. So contextually, look at it from the other angle. That we diagonized the network at that time, and we said the network needed investments at 3 years before UMEME exited. And we didn't take antivirus for that period. What do you expect the immunity of this network to be looking like?
So this situation was predicted?
Yes.
But we just didn't act?
No, it's not that we didn't act. And you see also that is also another misconception that we keep seeing even within our colleagues in the Fourth Estate. You need to appreciate that UMEME and the government had a binding agreement that they were supposed to run the concession up to 20 years. The terms and conditions there were clear. Now, there was no way how at that time we would have dived into an existing contract to start doing work in an existing contract. That in itself would amount for some breaches of that undertaking, by the way.
So, you know, I'm sorry I'm going to squeeze you a bit.
That's okay, that's fine.
But for the good of Ugandans to understand these things better. So we can say that in the 20-year concession, UMEME did not invest in what government has decided to invest in now.
Okay.
Because they knew their concession was coming to an end, and it wasn't, for me, a business person, it wasn't worth investing.
Let's state it like this, Mr. Chirabo. UMEME had been investing for the 20 years. But when an indication came from government that the concession would not be renewed, they capped his investments. Why did they cap the investment? Because he had unscooped investments in the same sector. He had not recovered some investment he had made over the period. So it was not again wise to allow him invest. Then that means the obligation that we are supposed to have paid him, would have supposed to have paid him before the eventual takeover of the asset would not have happened. Because you needed to go through the time of auditing the assets, giving them value, then the government pays off. So what would have happened if we allowed him to continuously invest? So there was a junction there. So the reason why government capped him is to give him chance to start recouping his investments, and also give us chance to actually audit what he said or what they said they had invested here, for us to pay them what you referred to as the buyout amount. So it's not true that we just sat down and watched as government. And also we need to give confidence that I think for the past period, you have been seeing UEDCL running procurement adverts. Even this week we are in. Last week we have just ended. We have been running adverts for land for substations. And we're encouraging Ugandans who have land in Kampala, please interest yourselves in the business. We are looking for land. We are looking for land to build a substation in order to ensure that we improve the reliability in the central business district.
Now,
So
moving forward.
Yes.
Let's understand that, yes, there's a situation where certain things didn't go right.
Yep.
And this wasn't on behalf of government, but agreements are agreements.
Yep.
No wonder one time His Excellency said this was a bad deal. The concessional thing. But we want to go back.
I don't want to repeat the words of the
Yes, we want to go back to history. We want to go back to history. Now our concern is how do we move forward? And
we are moving forward, Mr. Chirabo. We only need to just create an understanding to our countrymen that actually a lot is being done back end. We are shutting down power in these areas. And actually where you are hearing a lot of grapples, it is as a result of these planned shutdowns. To the extent that people have now started lining them up. It is good to line them up. But you also need to understand the motive grandi that we have to shut down power is to make good of this network. Because until we have made good of this network, it can't be able to be sustainable in terms of giving us the quality we need of our power supply. So we are shutting down power, we are inconveniencing you, which we apologize for, by the way. But also, we are doing this within reasonable time. The time that we usually state for our shutdown is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in different places. Some of the works are ongoing at for example, now we have some work going on at Injeru substation in Jinja. We have some work going on in Mutundu. We have some work going on in our substation close here in Namungona. There are several areas where we are undertaking some works to ensure that we revamp the existing infrastructure to meet our demand. So maybe to really give the painful assurance that the shutdowns are not for bad. They are for the good of the robustness of this infrastructure. However, we know it's not good news because we are interrupting supply. But this does not also exclude the emergency outages we keep getting. Emergency outages are those outages that will happen when the line fails to meet your demand, not because we have shut it down as UEDCL, but there has been an interruption to it, either by nature or by natural factors. You could include downpour, it could include lightning, it could many others. Even
by the way, you've mentioned downpour.
Yes.
How does downpour connect to electricity that whenever it rains heavily, it is a guarantee that power goes off?
But also where. The other question is where it goes off. Is also a very important question for the viewer outside there to appreciate. There are so many escorts that come with rain, and I will talk about wind, storms. When storms are amidst a downpour, you expect power lines to be challenged, especially those that are close to vegetations, like trees and mention it all. Once the vegetation comes in contact with the power lines, you will expect that line is going to trip. And for a fact that when it trips, the system is intelligent. Until that weather pattern sets, that line cannot restore. Yes, it is intelligent. It cannot restore until those interruptions on that grid line or that power line have stopped. It does not restore itself. So it's not true that it fears. It's not true that actually in some areas, power is not on when it is raining. At my home, in my areas, some even areas here in Kampala, when it is raining, power is on. But it is only in those conditions and also in these areas where you have challenges of vegetation, where the line can be switched off by that factor of the branches of trees coming in contact with the power line. Number two, the technical person in an area can advise control center to trip a line. If they realize that probably in that particular power line, there are a number of badly shaped structures. If the poles are looking ugly, you can't leave power on because the pole can give way naturally and it collapses on a home. What happens when it has electrons? You'll surely have another catastrophe. So there are some decisions which can be taken from the technical point of view to remove power. But also, we are also privy to a fact that in some areas, power has been off during rain as a result of the other first factor I mentioned about. But also, it has been amplified by vandalism. That people now have known that when power goes off, we can now do what we want to do on the network. And even when the rains are done, some areas remain off supply. We have seen these things here, even here in Kasubi, in some areas here in Nansana, where some ABC cables are cut. And someone goes off with maybe a roll or two, but leaving homes in a blackout. But they will assume, because it has become somehow a norm, that when it rains, power goes off. They can keep in a prolonged blackout because they have not reported. We don't know. And when these people usually make calls to us, we tend to realize that sometimes it's more than just the effects of weather. There are other factors that came around that probably orchestrated this kind of blackouts. So that's really the angle.
Well, allow me now go for a break. When I return, we will be looking at the Waited as a campaign, which came to an end, and what next. But thereafter, we shall also be looking at quite a number of issues regarding the distribution of electricity. We'll return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for silk vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical-looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person who recommends me to another person who recommended me to come and do the advert.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for keeping it with us on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and I have Kiza Janan, who is the head of corporate and stakeholders affairs at UEDCL, Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. We are looking at the current situation regarding electricity. Now, we heard that there is a campaign. This was amnesty for people. If you had any form of irregularity in electricity, a meter not in your name, you are looping, you are bypassing electricity somehow, something, either, we know these things, how you get electricity. You know, so it was an amnesty period for you. Just go and say, here I am, I've been doing this, or it happened, I didn't know, but now I've come to make things right. And by then, no charge was trampled against you, nothing, not even charged for electricity that you could have used illegally. Now, yesterday I met a very interesting character. Found this young lady, she had a charger. They asked her, why are you moving with a charger? She said, omanya masanyaze gennaku zino gy'ova ovaayo gyegali oddayo tegaliiyo gy'olaga tomanyi oba ogasangayo oba togasangeyo. So I moved my phone, literally meaning that the power now is so unstable. When you're leaving, you may leave it there, but you return when it's gone. Where you're going, you may find it there or not there. So I rather move with my charger for the interest of my phone. I know some Ugandans are very, very addicted to their phones. But unfortunately, they're not making money on their phones, but addicted. Social media, they can't survive to see who has posted what on UEDCL. Now, Janan, the waiter is a campaign. Is the amnesty still going on? Have you extended the hand of mercy? Update, please.
Thank you very much, and our viewers out there. When we launched the Wait Is a campaign, I remember you gave us our maiden show here, and we rallied Ugandans to come out and join really to the side of how things are done well. We are glad to mention that today, by the time we closed the Wait Is on 30th of September at 5 p.m., we had registered 22,937 respondents.
Abalokose.
That's a very, very big up to Ugandans who did not want to look at what people will interpret them, and also did not look at the consequences, because some people thought we are duping people. We are trapping them so that we can actually take them to court or even take them through the process of the law. But these people were bold, and this is how the numbers stand. In the central region, of course, the numbers stand at 13,764. I think that's the biggest percentage of this constituency that we are talking about. In the western region, there were 2,778. And then, of course, the northeast, which is slightly higher than the western region, was at 3,760. So giving you a total of 22,937 Ugandans who dropped the habits, and they have decided to come and say, look, we want to regularize our connections. But what is very important in this constituency that we're talking about is about 99 of these customers are three-phase customers. I don't know whether you know what that means.
Three-phase lines carrying high voltage, usually for industries, for high consumers. Yes. Because one time I told the Omeme, sorry, God forbid, I told the UEDCL staff, I had power shortages, and I was looking at these lines running through my area. So I told them, don't bother yourself.
Just tap on those.
Just tap on this. I told you, brother, that is not for your home consumption.
So the indication here we're trying to say is that even those in the manufacturing lane, those who have been irregular in the way they've been using electricity, to have 99 of them come out to declare is a big win for the sector. Because when you have all these people consuming power for free, it sends the economy backwards. The complaints that some of them we are having here, power is irregular, power goes off at 7. By the way, Chirabo, interestingly, there is an account to this constituency here. Because you have people that who visit this infrastructure, the transformers, when you actually don't know them. For us, we have planned for people in Maki in the Sabagab to consume not more than 100 kVA. But in the night, people who tap and hook go up to maybe 120. So what happens to that transformer? If it is not well protected, it will blow. And that's how we have ended up losing assets in this vein. So we want to thank these Ugandans who have come out, but also the good news, our shareholder, looking at the numbers and the performance of Weteres, has decided to give another amnesty of a month to allow other Ugandans to come out and regularize connections. Because our target from the onset was around 6,000 customers. We thought maybe they were around there. But the fact that we are over and above the target, it implies that the picture out there might actually be bigger left, that we need also to give chance to come out and regularize. So immediately after we received that heads up from our shareholder, the Minister of Energy, Dr. Canon Ruth Nankabirwa, we had to flight the extension up to 31st of October at 5 p.m. I want to presume, unless otherwise, this time we may not extend, unless otherwise advised otherwise.
No, there is no extension.
So we want to encourage people. The process of formalization is still the same. Go online, hit www.udcl.co.ug, #Wetereze, fill that form. If you have never owned a meter at home, go through the normal new connection process. But important to note, Mr. Chirabo, in this period from the time we started this campaign, the new connections have also shoot high. Remember, in this period, we have been having a backlog of Umeme that we inherited from Umeme, which we closed effectively. We closed 128. By end of month, we are at 135, 850 plus new customers who have been connected. And how I wish they would also call on this show. We may even not have even so many bad things to talk about, because some of them have waited for electricity.
So has the baggage been sorted
Yes,
now?
it has been sorted.
Completely?
Yes, for those who are for no pole connection. The remaining bunch that we are having of customers is those that require a pole extension for their homes. And the delay is just because of a small process we are remaining with to formalize the extension, to formalize the contractors who are going to be undertaking these extension schemes in the different parts of the regions. We have done it in a way that each region of the 15 we have in our business, each of them will have a contractor to do that one pole extension, both for this backlog we inherited and also for the forthcoming electricity access scale-up program, which is a government program under the auspices of the World Bank. So the principles will not change. We are not charging anybody money in this period. If you have come out to regularize, nobody should ask you to buy a meter. A meter is going to be provided to you for free. It is free of charge. And when we are speaking about these things, please take us seriously. Because we are here outside, there's somebody saying they are lying. When your people come, they ask for money. Why do you give them money?
Actually, in the electricity connection,
yes,
there is nowhere you pay cash.
Absolutely. It is from your phone.
Honest.
It is from your phone.
I can squeeze UEDCL
yes,
to the latter for the good of Ugandans,
yes,
but I can stand a testimony for that. That there is nowhere in the electricity transition where you give money direct
to an individual.
And if you're doing that, then don't come out and make noise. Because you know the truth. If you choose to give a bribe, then don't talk about how people are yearning for bribes. Because the system is very clear. The reporting channels are very clear. One thing I can hold them accountable is they need to expedite the process.
True.
Because I think when we delay the process, this is where our staff, your staff, because they're working for us, these are servants of us Ugandans, like I am a servant to you, Ugandan watching. Now, these delays are the ones that cause the problems. For example, one applies for an installation, or call it a connection. Now, when these people take long to see the genuine stuff come in, this is where a crafty Ugandan comes in
and takes advantage and
says, Or even a friend, you tell him, you see, I applied this now, this test. No. Nze nakola mu UEDCL gwe manyi. Ajja bikwanguyiza. Funayo emitwalo 4. And sometimes, not to say all are that, but there are few tomatoes, rotten tomatoes. Now, what happens is when this person gets the 400 and gives the other person, in 4 days they are connected. So I think those are the challenges maybe that may cause that. But fellow Ugandan, there is no cash given to staff of UEDCL for what they do to you or for you in the electricity sector, unless it's a tip. And when you offer tip, definitely, it's your choice. You can't say I went and ate food and then you tipped and you make noise to people.
But we also don't want to encourage those tips because you know the law, the act is very clear. When they give you a gift, you come and declare it. So our colleagues who are out there watching, when you receive a gift from Mr. Chirabo, make sure you come to the HR department, declare the gift, and then we shall still expedite using the law, how the law gives us direction to treat gifts. But not really to preempt the fact that you're stating. Even on social media accounts, colleagues who are watching us and our dear customers, we have an official verified account on X. And we want to state that any other account other than that is not ours. We don't have a parody. We don't believe in parodies. Our pages are like that. They are verified. We are in the process of verifying our TikTok account to ensure that it is distinct from the others who are actually mimicking us, using our same brand insignia. It is unfortunate that that's how we have degraded and reached to. But this is a societal challenge. The generation we're in is a digital generation. And people have been clever because now electricity is trending. Some things, even when they are not true, when you tweet them about electricity, you will get an awash of responses. For some of us, we have failed to know that we are helping people build their accounts on some untrue things, by the way. So that is the unfortunate part. But on the issue of corruption as well, as an organization, we don't support corruption. And we don't believe that corruption should be part of our staff. But I also want to remind you, Ugandan, who is giving out this bribe, you are equally liable as in the same way our staff is liable. When we put you before the table of justice, all of you will get the same consequences. You, the giver, and the one who got. You will all go to prison. So let us not continue lubricating these vices because they catch up with us as a society. If
Let's look at also the cost.
You talked about the cost, but you also talked about the process. Why you might have a seeming delay is because the principles of service are the one who comes in first is given the first service. So if the queue is long, Mr. Chirabo, I want to apologize on behalf of my colleagues in the field. They may not want to jump because Kirabo paid money yesterday. Even on self-funding, also in sometimes we experience queues. But also, where we have seen a pain is especially on the side of repair and maintenance of meters. When your meter blows and it is taken away, sometimes people experience a delay. And some of us think that other people are being connected, why is my meter delaying? Allow us to categorize that a meter for R&M for replacement, they come when they are specific and they are approved by ERA. We know how many meters should be going out for replacement. Now, if at that particular moment, for that category of replacement, there are no meters, you cannot touch on the clustered meters for World Bank, for example, to replace a meter of Mr. Chirabo. That again will be misappropriation of resources. You have misused the resources. Because at the end of the day, we have to give accountability to the people who have funded this scheme that meter X went in this place and this is the customer. Now, if you used it for replacement, you will have misused that meter. So that is where, again, we might be finding some challenges. But also, we want to encourage you that in these coming days, as we allow these meter factories to start bringing in these supplies, I think by the coming month, by the end of this month, we should be good to go with enough meters to take us through for this period.
Now, that said, another area that brings challenges is the cost of electricity. Many Ugandans, and I've seen this on social media, claiming that electricity is generated in Uganda, exported to one of our neighbors. I won't mention the country, definitely you know. But a unit is cheaper there compared here. We remember when Honorable Dr. Canon Ruth Nankabira spoke, he said now electricity is going to be even cheaper. Now, Ugandans are saying that what was she talking about? Because in their understanding, in their observation, nothing changed. They believe electricity is still very expensive or slightly expensive.
Allow me defend my minister, who is also a canon, that canons don't lie. I want to be very clear on this.
I come from a family of 3 canons.
She's a canon, and I don't think she lied with her statement. The cost of electricity, indeed, as she stated, has been reducing from the time she actually took charge. I really want us to be fair when we are discussing matters of costs.
Please explain.
In December last year, when she was handing over the license to UEDCL, the electricity cost reduced by 5.2%.
5.2%.
Yes.
Okay.
I am going to translate that into money so that people will also feel. When she was handing over the asset to UEDCL on 1st of April, electricity reduced by 14% to the current tariff that we have of 756.2 per kilowatt hour of electricity, from as high as 950 in the past 2 years. So it is unfair to say that we are not seeing a decline in electricity in terms of costs, the prices associated to the power units. We are seeing electricity reducing. But also, there are also interesting packages that have come in this period that I would love also to emphasize that also the canon has been speaking about. Power for people who are cooking, those who utilize power above 81 kilowatt hours. Now you can get electricity as low as 412. Power for amenities, the cost of power to hospitals, the cost of power to prisons, the cost of power to other utilities has equally also reduced to as low as 360 Uganda shillings.
Now let's do
so practically, which is half the average price that we are talking about. Yes.
Now the figures, the kilowatts per hour you're explaining may be easily understood by people with the same technical background. Now I want to go down to the Ababa in a place who is operating a salon and buys your car and says, I have my 10,000, I have my 15 units. I want to go to this person who runs a home and they load at the end of the month, they put their car 30, they put their 50K, if I may say. Now, when you're talking, try to say now, for example, if this person was using a month, he would use his 10,000, get his 15, 16 units. You know, there is that first transaction a month where someone gets more extra. Instead of 10,000 getting 10 units, now you get 16. Now, go speak to the mind of that person that since UEDCL took over, if you are getting 10 units, that's what they want to hear, in 10,000. Now you're getting maybe 13 or 14 units. Try that lane and we see.
Okay. This is it for a person who is watching us on UBC. I have my 10K. I want to know the exact units that I get from the 10K. We shall do rough mathematics. For the first buy in a month, any day in a month, a consumer who does not consume more than 80 units in a month, who does not consume more than 80 units in a month, is entitled to the first 15 units at 250 Uganda shillings, which is equivalent to 3,750 UGX. Enkumi ssatu mu lusanvu mu ataano. Nga zigula units 15 zo mu mwezi mu Burundi gwoguza amasanyalaze mu mwezi ogumupya ogutandise. For the first buy in a month, any Ugandan who consumes below 80 units in a month is entitled to what we call units of government or government power, where they purchase electricity per unit at 250 Uganda shillings as opposed to 756.2. Meaning the other bigger margin is paid off by government to support and cushion people who are low-income earners. So you will find in the first buy, someone has maybe a hoping like 18 units for the first buy in a month.
Because I've ever tried 10,000, I think you get 15 units?
Yes, around there. But we need also to make you take caution that as you're buying power, there are two costs that get off of your charges. The first charge is the service fee, which is 3,994. Uganda shillings.
I hope Ugandans are getting these things
That
properly,
money,
clearly.
that money is to support in how we actually do our work. We don't get money from the consolidated fund. The poles we replace, the meter we replace when it has burnt, everything about electricity in terms of service, replacing transformers, replacing wires and etc. It is that service fee. Then a Ugandan also pays what you call value added tax. That money is for URA. And you also know the purpose. Government has to build different social economic lines. We cushion government by collecting this tax.
Oh, Janan, time is catching us up. We just have to end this. It's very interesting, but I promise Ugandans, I will let you know, I'm going to have him back. And what are we going to be discussing? Cost of electricity. Because I see mathematics, we need to have more time to better hold him and you to understand if electricity is generally cheap or not. And that will make you understand why you should ensure you rectify your connection and pay your bills. Just in a minute, your parting shot we get out of here.
I want to thank you and also remind Ugandans that our minister will be speaking through to the country tomorrow at the media center, to the country about some of these pain points that we're talking about, but also speak to you the prospects that we have as government in light of the current situation. But let's all regularize our connections. Ugandans, those who are still on legal connections, please take heed and listen to the call of government before it is too late. I want to thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Janan Kiza, for always turning up when need arises. Thank you so much for that. And of course, our viewer, we treasure you. We respect you. We thank you so much. Waking up with us at 6:30 till now, we don't take that lightly. Thank you very much and hope to see you tomorrow and more at this particular time. May the good Lord bless you. Have the best of your week. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com.